Hey mama, if you're listening to this, you might be carrying a secret that feels too heavy to speak out loud. You look like you got it all together, you serve at church, maybe you even lead a Bible study. You smile when you drop off the kids, but no one sees the other side of you, the one that comes out behind closed doors. At home, you are a completely different person. You yell, you explode, you scream at your kids, sometimes in their face. You tell them to shut up. You grab them too harshly. You throw things across the room. You smack them in anger, twist their ears, spank them in rage, and immediately after, you are hit with a tidal wave of shame. You cry alone in your room and you whisper, "God, what is wrong with me?" You feel scared and disgusted by your own reactions. You're terrified that someone might find out. You wonder if your kids would be better off without you. You feel unworthy, broken, and too far gone to be redeemed. You try to fix this on your own. You listen to podcasts, parenting books, download freebies, but nothing changes. You keep falling back into the same patterns, and it feels like you are stuck in a cycle that you can't break. You don't trust yourself anymore, and if you're honest, you are afraid of who you've become. But here's the truth, Mama. You are not beyond hope. You're not alone, and with God's help and the right support, you can change. I'm Elizabeth, a mom of 4 and an anger management coach for Christian moms. And inside my Calm Christian Mom coaching program, I guide women just like you through a powerful transformation. This isn't shallow behavior management. We go deep. We address your triggers, your stress, your mindset, your nervous system, and the spiritual root behind your patterns. We invite God into every layer and walk hand in hand towards healing. In just 12 weeks, you can become a completely different mom, unrecognizable. One who leads with patience, not panic. One whose children feel emotionally safe around her. One who cultivates peace. This summer, I'm offering a Calm Mama strategy session, a powerful 15-minute one-on-one coaching session designed to help you uncover the root of your anger and receive spiritual, emotional, and practical support. It's your chance to experience what coaching is like with me before diving deeper into ongoing support. If we both feel like the full program is the next right step, we can talk about what that looks like for you. You don't have to keep living like this. Your family is worth healing, and so are you. Use the link in the show notes to book the Calm Mama strategy session. This is probably one of my favorite episodes, and the reason is when I was re-listening to all the testimonials as I was putting this episode together, I was just filled with so much gratitude. Gratitude to God that He led me to this through my own struggles, and just such gratitude that these women have experienced such positive changes in their life. Literally, their legacies are changing. They came into the coaching program feeling lost, confused, and hopeless in their anger struggle and came out with a transformation, and their life forever changed, and their children's lives forever changed, and they have the tools that they need moving forward to set a positive example for their family. I am just so excited for you to listen to this episode. Mom after mom after mom shares her testimony about coming into the coaching program, feeling so defeated, filled with shame and remorse, and coming out of the coaching program feeling empowered and proud of the way that she handles anger in a God-honoring way. For most of these moms, the circumstances did not change, but God transformed them, and they were able to change the way that they handle the circumstances and able to look back at them and be proud of the way that they handled it in a God-honoring way. All right, listen in.
Hi, I am Brittany. I am a mom of 4 beautiful girls, triplet 11-year-olds and a 9-year-old, and I have been married for almost 15 years. I took Elizabeth's Calm Christian Mom course fall of 2023. And it has changed my life, and it has changed the lives for my daughters. It has changed my marriage, and it is affecting change for generations to come. I have battled anger my whole life, and it is a generational curse on my family, on the women in my family specifically. I have personally witnessed it destroy relationships for both my aunt and my grandmother. I've seen it tear apart multiple marriages. I've seen it destroy relationships between grandmothers and their grandchildren, aunts and their nieces, mothers and their children. It's created so much destruction. And I didn't want that to be my story, and I didn't want that to be the story for my marriage or for my daughters. And I didn't want this to be a battle that they had to fight. So I knew that I had to take a stand and I had to fight it. And with Elizabeth's course, this last year has been amazing. The changes that other people are noticing in me. Brittany, you seem softer. Brittany, you seem calmer. You seem much slower to react, and your responses are different. Are all things that friends and family have said to me in the last year who maybe didn't know about the course, or they knew about the course, but were waiting to see if it would be long lasting. And let me tell you, it has been long lasting. I'm finding peace, and I'm finding moments in my day to support myself, and moments in my evenings to give myself that space to be quiet and to have quiet and calm. And I wouldn't have had the courage or the accountability that Elizabeth offered me. I wouldn't have had that if I had not taken the course. And like I said once already, but I cannot state it enough, this course was so worth the investment to save my marriage, to save my relationships with my parents, with my siblings, with my children. Because if I did nothing, I would have no relationship with my daughters here before too long. They're still young enough to notice the changes and to see a different mom and experience a different mom. If I had done nothing in a couple years, I would have 3 15-year-olds and a 13-year-old who want nothing to do with mom, who know that mom is going to overreact, who know that maybe mom's not a safe place. And I want to be a safe place for my children. So, totally worth the investment. It has totally changed my life, my marriage, and my children and their future.
Hey, my name is Taylor, and I just finished Elizabeth's coaching program, The Calm Christian Mom, and I cannot recommend it enough. I am a stay-at-home mom with 2 littles. Haven is 2.5, and Clancy is 4.5. And I stay at home with them, and we also have a couple at-home businesses that my husband and I run. So I stay busy at home with the businesses and with my kids. And I listened to one of Elizabeth's podcasts months ago that was recommended to me from a friend. And it was in that podcast that I realized the way I was parenting my children was not what God wanted, and it was not the mom I wanted to be. And her words in her podcast really convicted me to find change, to do something about it. And so I booked a call with her for that next morning. And in that call, I was full of shame. I was embarrassed to talk about the way I was parenting my kids. I was embarrassed. I was yelling too much. I was full of guilt and shame and felt like I was a terrible mom. Didn't trust myself with my kids. I didn't trust myself at all, period. And so that call with her, I was very emotional and I was very vulnerable, and she just loved me where I was at. And I could tell she was genuine in her responses, and she just listened to me, and she made me feel like I was not alone and that there was hope. And so I joined her coaching program the next day, and honestly, within 3 days, I noticed change. With her keeping me accountable and checking in with me and asking how things are going and like wanting to know my real answers and like how I'm really doing. And then she was able to encourage me, to challenge me, to remind me of who I am in God's eyes. And within a couple of days, I was already seeing improvements in how I was talking to myself and how I was talking to my kids. And so I cannot encourage her program enough. I am a more confident mom. I am a calmer and patient mom. I still have a lot of work to do, but I would say I am tremendously more patient and calm than I was when I started this program. I see my kids in a different light. I see myself in a different light. I am choosing to be present with my kids instead of not wanting to hang out with them or be with them. I am now excited to spend time with them. And so the mom I am now is completely different than the mom I was 3 months ago. And I have Elizabeth to thank for that. So if you are on the fence about joining her program, I cannot recommend it enough. I want you to know that there is help out there for you and there is hope for you. You don't have to stay where you're at. I thought I did. I thought this is just how it was to be a mom with littles, running your own businesses, and I was overwhelmed and overstimulated, and I didn't know how to love my kids in that season and with all those things going on. And Elizabeth helped me realize I'm not alone and there is hope.
Hey, my name is Brandy. I am married. I have one son and one bonus son. They're both 10 years old. Before I joined Elizabeth's program, I was always a bitter, angry, a very controlling mom. My son would often say, "Nothing I do is ever good enough for you." I constantly found myself looking for what my husband and son did wrong, what they didn't do. Just a very negative person in general. And it carried over to my family, my house, our daily activities. And I got to a point where I was honestly afraid of losing my husband and therefore losing this positive male figure in my son's life and such a great person. And when that realization hit, I reached out to Elizabeth, and it was life-changing for me. I stayed in the work. I'm still doing the work. It's been a few weeks after I graduated her program, but I see such positive changes in my family. We are all so happy. We're not walking on eggshells anymore around each other. My son no longer says, "Nothing I do is good enough for you." He knows that I'm his safe person now. There's no little bitter arguments between us, my husband and I. So I'm so thankful for Elizabeth and all that she's done for me and my family. It is truly has been life-changing, and without her, I don't think I would have made these positive changes. I don't think I would have worked on myself and really got to the core of what was truly going on with me. And through her, through the coursework, through the program and talking to the other moms, I was really able to work on all those things, and it's been amazing. And I would hope that if anybody is listening to this and feels that this is them or they've been here before and they're really at rock bottom, just to make the next step and to book the consultation call, and you won't be disappointed.
Hey, this is Amber, and I want to share how life-giving Elizabeth's emotional wellness coaching program has been. I am homeschooling my son on the autism spectrum who is also adopted and has a lot of trauma responses to things. And I found myself getting more and more short-tempered with him and irritated. And I knew that that was not going to be beneficial for our relationship or for his education and just for his emotional wellness. And so her program has been so good and life-giving at a time where I needed encouragement, but also accountability. We all know that change doesn't really come without accountability. So I highly recommend her program. The tools that I've learned, the insights, the things that I've been putting into practice have helped me so much be the mom that I want to show up for as I continue to homeschool my son. Thank you, Elizabeth, and all the accountability and encouragement and prayers. It has meant so much.
Hi, my name is Megan. I am a mother of 4 boys, and I first found Elizabeth when I realized I was really struggling with how I was behaving around my children. I had been listening to a couple of different podcasts when I found hers, and it really hit home with me, and especially where we had some similarities with boys and raising a family and being mean to them when you didn't mean to, but you had a hard time controlling it. And the thing that she said that really made me sign up for the program was, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And when I thought about it, I thought I would probably be divorced and trying to figure out who was going to pick up which kid when on what weekend. And that scared me enough that I decided to sign up for the program. I'd been in several different counseling situations, tried medications, nothing seemed to help. I really was craving a spiritual element with my progression in trying to be a better mother, and Elizabeth provided that for me. And I would highly recommend this program as I continue to work with her to improve how I act around my children.
I'm a mom of 3 kids, 2 of which are twins. I work full-time at a demanding and stressful job as a lawyer. I struggle with keeping up, setting boundaries, and I have little support outside my immediate home. I felt overwhelmed, stressed, frustrated, and as if I was spinning out of control. I was becoming negative, unfairly blaming my kids for normal developmental hurdles, and I yelled too many times. I was not showing my kids the mom I am and I want to always be. On a desperate night after a meltdown, I found Elizabeth's podcast. Her honesty, personal story, and kind perspective on mom struggles made me realize I was not alone. Her podcast was tangible and realistic, something I could grab onto. I did not want to hit rock bottom, and I wanted more from Elizabeth, so I booked a consultation. She was warm, and I felt like I'd been given a light at the end of the tunnel. I was unsure about joining at first, financially and from a time standpoint. But something about Elizabeth drew me in, and my instinct said yes. I've never looked back, and I know I made the right decision. At 6 weeks in, it's already been worth every dime and minute spent. I enjoy the time spent journaling, learning lessons, and on Zoom calls with Elizabeth and other moms. Elizabeth is available in so many different ways, multiple times a week in a way that therapy cannot match. It's just simply different. Her unwavering support includes creative and easy tools to follow. She is patient, compassionate, and insightful. At 6 weeks in, I am more calm, happier, grounded, and most of all, I've had the pleasure of seeing that positive changes in my mindset and response to my kids is contagious. My kids, in turn, are showing their more lighthearted, happy spirits. I'm thankful for Elizabeth. I feel like she's making me a better mother.
I'm Leah Williams, and I did the 12-week program with Elizabeth, the Calm Mom coaching. When I joined with Elizabeth, I was without hope. I just had a deep anger happening. Just being a stay-at-home, homeschooling mom, I got a little lost there for a minute, just getting wrapped up in my kids' behavior and just letting it affect me on a deep level. And I just wasn't able to find my way out. And so that's when I came across Elizabeth. And truly, she was an answer to prayer and a godsend, because she just gave me a new foundation to stand on and just helped me to get myself back on the tracks that I knew I needed to be on. So I am forever grateful. Just that short period of time has just completely turned around my mothering and just my outlook, everything. She really helped me fix some cracks in my foundation that were starting to form. So I am so grateful.
Hi, my name is Alexis, and I am a mom of 4, and I stay at home with the kids and work part-time for my husband's business. I decided to sign up for Elizabeth's course after my husband sitting me down and saying, whatever the cost, we need peace in this house. Just a lot of built up emotions and trauma and different things I'd experienced were just coming to just a full blow of rage and flip outs and cursing and sometimes throwing things, just behaviors that were totally out of control and starting to affect my children, especially my oldest son. And so I Googled a Christian anger management course and just was really excited to sign up with Elizabeth and noticed changes even after 3 weeks. And now that I'm 2/3 through the program, I'm learning new things every week, and my overall stress has been lowered. I'm slower to anger. I'm more intentional and confident in parenting and disciplining my children. And I know that with all these new things and tools that I'm learning every week, that these last 4 weeks are really going to help me build a sustainable change to be a better mother, honoring the Lord and teaching my children how to handle their emotions in a healthy, God honoring way.
I want to read to you some more testimonials that are on my website by moms that finished my coaching program. This is Lindsay. She is a mom of 8 and she homeschools 2 of our kids. The other children are already grown and out of the house. And this is what she had to say. When I first started this program, I felt like I was never going to get over this hump of discouragement and overwhelm that I felt daily as a mom. I started noticing changes in my stress level within the first 2 weeks of coaching. My workload and circumstances had not changed, but I felt more calm. I knew that things were going to be okay. I was starting to have peace. I quickly implemented coping mechanisms for myself while learning the process to correct my behavior and mend our family relationships. Today, I am confident that I am the mom I was called to be. And then I wanted to share Laura's testimony. Laura is a single mom of 2 boys. She works full time, and she came in my coaching program feeling really stressed out and burned out. And this is what she had to say. As a single mom of 2 young and very active boys, I found Elizabeth's program when I was deep in remorse and helplessness. She has helped me become aware of old patterns, and I can reset using calming techniques and mindset swaps. Now I can pause and wait instead of reacting. God has given me all I need in Him to be a godly mom and share an emotionally healthy legacy with these amazing boys. This program encouraged me, taught me, and helped me break down reactive and unhealthy reactions. Now I believe that although my upbringing did not model healthy emotional coping methods, I can do all things through Christ and the power that He offers me each moment in my parenting. I would highly recommend any mom who believes that this is too late or that the damage is already done, that you press in and join Calm Christian Mom coaching program. That was one of her biggest fears, is that she felt like the damage was already done with her kids, and that even though if she changes now, all that damage is already done. And that's something that we coach through, because God can redeem all of that. And you can influence your children in such a positive way moving forward. No, you cannot go back and change things, but you can change things moving forward. The next testimonial I want to read is from a homeschooling mom of 3. She prefers to stay anonymous, and she joined my coaching program because her husband was gone all the time because of his travel work schedule. And she was pretty much on her own parenting her kids. And this is what she said. Before starting the program, I was feeling stuck in the ways that I was parenting and not showing up as the mom I wanted to be. While I still have a lot of work to do in breaking negative patterns and thoughts, I now feel empowered knowing that I have the tools and the information to shift my thoughts and respond more positively. And then I want to finish off with reading you a testimonial by actually a male client. I had one dad last year that worked with me. His wife got to a point where she's like, you need to go get help. And she was able to find me through Google, and he booked a consultation call and we worked one-on-one. and this is his testimonial. His name is Caleb. He said, before starting the program, I felt hopeless in my anger and felt like a failure as a dad. I was getting overly angry with my kids a couple times each week, and was in a constant cycle of overreacting, fuming about it, and finally acknowledging my overreaction and then apologizing to my spouse and kids. It was getting to the point where my apologies were meaning less and less each time. I knew that I needed to change, but simply did not have the tools to know how, despite trying my best each time. At its worst, right before starting the program, I had a sinking feeling in my heart that if my sinful outbursts continued at this frequency and intensity, it would lead to broken hearts, shattered lives, divorce, and a rejoicing enemy. After starting the program, I felt positive changes within a couple weeks. Those early lessons were foundational, and I still remind myself of them often. Elizabeth was understanding and encouraging throughout all the calls and had custom strategies and mindset shifts for each of my struggles. God, using Elizabeth, has grown me to become more rooted, tender, lighthearted, patient, gracious, and compassionate dad. I can genuinely look back at many of my responses to my children and be proud of how I handle things. There is still so much more room for growth, and I am now filled with hope for all that God will continue to do in me and my family. My friend, if you're thinking about joining Calm Christian Mom Coaching Program, but you are filled with shame and that is preventing you because you feel so embarrassed, first of all, there's other moms in the program. We get on group coaching calls. Everybody is dealing with the same thing. I promise you, you are not alone. That is a lie from the enemy. He wants you to stay stuck in the shame cycle. He does not want you to change. He wants your relationships to be ruined with your husband and your children and those close around you. Don't give that power to him. We all have our battles to fight. Everybody has a battle in their life that they need to fight. And maybe this one is yours. Maybe this is the battle that you are called to fight right now. If this is something that you're being called to, I want to invite you to join Calm Christian Mom Coaching Program. You have nothing to lose. The program is 100% money back guarantee. You show up, you do the work for 12 weeks, and if you don't see any positive changes, if you do not reach the goals that you set for yourself in the beginning of the coaching program, and you did the work, I will give you a full refund at week 12. You have nothing to lose. I have 3-month payment plans available, 6-month payment plans available, 12-month payment plans available. There is a way for you to do this. If there is a will, there is a way. Pray for God to provide a way for you to do this if He's nudging this on your heart. He will find a way. Stand up for yourself. Talk to your husband. Say, hey, this is important. This is what I need right now. I am so sick and tired of feeling this way, feeling stuck in anger and frustration and overwhelm and bitterness, and I want to change. There is hope for you, my friend. God can change your life. I cannot wait to connect with you. Book a free consultation call. The link is in the show notes. Let's talk and let's change your legacy. Hey mama, do you find yourself snapping over the smallest things, like spilled milk or constant whining, then feeling horrible afterwards? If you're tired of losing your temper and you want to show up with more patience, I have something for you. It's a free training called How to Be More Patient with Your Kids so you're not screaming over spilled milk. Inside, I'll walk you through 10 simple things you can start doing today to become a calmer, more Christ-like mom, even on the hard days. To get it for free, just leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and send a screenshot to hello@emotionallyhealthylegacy.com. Or if you'd rather skip the wait, you can grab it right now for just $27. The link is in the show notes. Let's help you become the peaceful, patient mom your kids need.